Everyone has that friend, you know. The one who's always passive-aggressive and never seems to come out and just tell you what he or she means. The roommate who wanders around the kitchen wondering aloud where all of her milk went when you and she are the only people in the room and you wish she would just ask you directly if you were the one who used all her milk without asking. In English, a sentence written using passive voice is that annoying, ambiguous friend. In passive voice, instead of an agent performing an action, as an active voice, the action happens, often mysteriously, to the agent. Don't get what I'm saying? Take this scenario at the climax of this little-known film. The Emperor was thrown down a ventilation shaft by Luke's dad. This is a classic example of a sentence in the passive voice. Can you see why? First, ask yourself, what is the action in the sentence? The action here is was thrown, or the verb to throw. Then, single out who is being acted upon. In this case, who was thrown? The Emperor. Next, ask, is someone or something performing the action? Who was doing the throwing in this sentence? It's Luke's dad. Now that you've identified the key elements, you can make the sentence active by putting the person performing the action, the subject, Luke's dad, at the front of the sentence. So, the Emperor was thrown down the ventilation shaft by Luke's dad becomes Luke's dad threw the Emperor down the ventilation shaft. The sentence is not only shorter and clearer, but more direct. Now the only thing you have to answer is why there's a giant, death-defying hole in the middle of the throne room. Why active, not passive? At some point in your schooling, a teacher or three probably told you that passive voice was wrong, and that active voice was good. This is not entirely true, but for reasons of style and clarity, active voice is often preferable to passive voice. It makes sentences more immediate and engaging. Despite this, many people often write passively by default, as it feels more natural or academic to them. There's a good reason for this. Many scholars aren't very good writers, even if they are, say, brilliant thinkers. We can imagine, for instance, a committee of well-meaning scholars yielding this rather dry pronouncement. A large asteroid heading towards Earth has been discovered by the scientific group. The sentence contains some pretty important information, but this sentence, because it's passive, doesn't put the important information to the forefront. It also lacks immediacy.